This is Professor Jiang apparently making a statement. I don't like how this is super low fidelity. At first, I was like, is this even real? But we'll see.
I went and watched the full thing to find it.
Okay, okay. Here's Professor Jiang, y'all.
And okay,
tell us about game theory.
Yeah. So here's my grand plan. Okay, my plan eventually is start my own religion, and so I'm using this YouTube platform in order to test certain ideas that I will need for this new religion, and that's why I switch around a lot. So if you're a fan of certain topic, you can get annoyed because then like next semester I'll teach something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But again, my goal is to be the Messiah. My goal is
that's crazy.
So I'm going through the R&D phase of my life right now.
Yeah, this is you can do travel to Gnostic India as you could have like a Japanese brother, whatever the fuck they say Christ did, Gnostic with the internet now.
Well, no. I mean, like I will eventually go these places, but like at this point, I'm just trying to innovate with the framework, and then eventually I'll go and spread my message like Paul did. I'll travel like Paul, the apostle.
So, Ben, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if is he saying that to troll, right? Because he knows that the reaction that he would get off of that, or is he serious? I see arguments for both.
When you watched it in context, how did it feel?
Still could have gone either way because the tone of the conversation is such a jokey podcast. Like they're it's almost like satire, like the level of conspiracy in which they'll indulge in. Right. And so also Jiang's a fan of that guy, apparently.
Okay.
So could there be some performative elements to this? Right.
For sure, man. I mean, but at the same time, right? Like, to an extent, I mean, he sits in a position where he's definitely got a lot of data. He's got imagine the comment section and how much information that you would get from that on what people are agreeing with, what they disagree with, what they really think. I mean,
I'm seeing people saying he's got to be trolling. I'm seeing people say, I don't know, like
I don't know, man.
It could go either way, which is concerning.
It's the thing is, like, if he wanted to start his own, like, what he's doing would make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. It's the modern day equivalent of what a lot of these religions started as, or what we're told they started as. Right. So it's tough. I still want to have him on because I'm from here, right? So his story about him living in Toronto, I'm probably one of the only people that he could talk to that would be able to ask him questions that would be able to discern if that's real or not.
Of all of the Torontans, you're the only one?
Who does a podcast like this, I'm saying.
Okay.
Every other show he's going to go on, everyone would just say, oh, yeah, you live in Canada, right? I grew up here. I can ask the questions of like, okay, is that real or is that fake?
Right.
Because everyone's just like taken for, like said that that he lived in Toronto. And like, I have no reason not to believe him, but also no one has asked him anything about Toronto. Like everything that he's currently said would be very easy to just say.
That's a good point. I've got a couple clips here for you guys. I think this is going to be some fun stuff here. So this is from the Gray Area. These guys have a podcast. I think it's like a branch of the Alex Jones
sphere
umbrella. Yeah.
Don't give a shit about the war because it doesn't affect. I'm in favor of the draft because right now Americans don't give a shit about the war because it doesn't affect them. As soon as you start drafting their sons and daughters, they're going to find out what's going on with the war real fucking fast. And it is not going to go well for the government. This ain't Vietnam. Like, got to remember, the thing that made the draft work wasn't the threat of punishment. Like, there were people that were willing to go to prison. You could go to Canada. You could go to Mexico. You could like fake it. It was social shame. It was the dishonor that you would feel knowing that your neighbor was sent, but you didn't go. Like, that was a holdover. That was a holdover from the previous generations. We don't feel that anymore. The only way to get people to, join the draft now is like do what Ukraine does and literally like kidnap them and just like be like, we'll punish not just you, but your family if you try to flee. But like, that's why I sort of sarcastically say I'm in favor of the draft because they're never going to institute the draft. The instant they institute the draft, all they're doing in people's minds is telling them you're either fighting us or you're fighting for us. And people will go, all right, I'm fighting you, motherfucker. Come get me. Like, the American government does not want to put that dichotomy out there for people to go either sacrifice your son for Israel or else you're an anti-American person that hates the government. People are like, okay, then I'm that thing. I'm that second thing. I hate you. I'm not fighting for you. If I'm going to waste my life fighting somebody, it's going to be you in DC. Like, that's what people feel. So.
What do you think of that, man?
Well, you're in America. You know boots on the ground a lot better than I do in terms of how people feel. But from my distant social listening of it all, it seems like he's not too far off.
Yeah, I really don't think people would be going for it. But maybe also I'm just in my own corner of the internet. I mean, I just don't even think people know that we're at war. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to tell because everything is so siloed. But I think also they're going to have a hard time of saying, okay, you could push people to go to war because there was something to come home to. What's worth fighting for these people right now? Like the average person, what are you coming home to?
Right. That's a really good point.
How does it get? Obviously, we're very spoiled being in the first world, but like we're things are getting worse here too.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I coming home to? What am I fighting for?
Right. That's a really good point. You think about those like old movies back in the day of people going off to war. Like they literally had wife and kids, that they would be coming home because people were getting married and like having families, right? But
yeah. And there's not been any of the huge riots over all this stuff, like the Epstein files and all these things yet, because it's not impacted people like directly that much, right? Where this would 100% impact everyone directly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I really hope it doesn't come to be that way. And what's it called again? Simon Dixon, he thinks this is all theatrics.
Interesting.
Yeah, so his thesis is that not too far off from the things that we've said to a degree of this is really just to shift the world order to a new system, essentially. He articulates it far more eloquently than I did, but I definitely recommend going to watch his recent ones. We hope to have him on here in the future, but he definitely breaks it down. I saw someone else saying, I think it was Disc Replay, or they said Simon Dixon could put a glass eye to sleep. So I guess he's not a big fan.
A glass eye to sleep.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So his stuff's definitely drier, but I will say I don't think there's too many people that understand the things that he says. Like, I don't know how else you'd get it that way. And Sir Knight says you can't believe everything Simon Dixon says, and I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that he's one of the people that I do spend time listening to here and there.
If you're enjoying this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip. Yeah, I mean, he's a super interesting person to listen to. I realized when I was about to share, I shared him with someone else like, oh, this sounds like crazy to someone from the outside. Just the whole concept of all of the things that he says about like the different factions and stuff. Like I didn't even realize like how off the deep end that would sound to like the average person. But
totally. But at this point, like I think after the Epstein files, I think a lot of people's foundation of things got thrown out the window.
And it's so funny because that's the exact person, Ben, that like the person that I shared that with, it was, we were having those conversations, actually. That was what I was like, you should watch this because that was happening and his whole worldview was changing. And I'm like, it's just such a funny thing in that friend group because like we've got multiple spectrums in this friend group. We've got like me where I'm like, like I'm more conspiracy theory than not. But I'm still like reasonable and I can say like, all right, but like, come on, like, let's, chill out. But then we've got another friend in the group that's like full on, like whatever's being said, like he's sending that to the group chat and he's like, look, this is what Charlie Kirk died for. Like, like and then the other one is like, bro, like, lived in New York for a while, lived in LA for a while. So he's like, more like left leaning. And so he, for instance, like during the election was like, bro, like, no, like, and they would just go back and forth to where the whole thing just got super heated. But my point was, for the guy who's like, imagine like the super far right guy, let's just use that as a label. It's not what he is, but let's just use that as a label.
Yeah.
He's been sending like conspiracy theories for years. Right. We just been talking about that since we were in middle school. Like
So
that
this
was
is his
just what
time
we
to
talked
shine.
about. This is his time, bro.
His whole life has been vindicated.
He's like, bro, I've been telling y'all this whole time.
You didn't listen to me then. You got to listen to me now. And that's where things can get too far the other way too.
Exactly. So yeah, I just wanted to illustrate that.
That's super fair.
Because it's super interesting to see how. Yeah, now he does have to start to like question some stuff though.
Yes, because you can get into that confirmation bias the other way too, where okay, these few things were right. Was that part of the plan too?
Yep.
Right? So they always do that, man. There's always some truth in the shit that gets rolled out, but they mix in enough crazy so that you can't trust everything. Cross Central says, what's he said that was wrong though? I don't know if he said anything wrong. I think referring to Simon Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have access to the primary sources that often he's referring to or anecdotes that he's referring to, right? So I can never say for sure that anyone's right or wrong because I have no freaking clue.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of Simon Dixon, that's another thing, because like this other guy, imagine the super left-wing guy, we're just using labels, like he needs data. He needs that for him to believe anything. And I was like, bro, like, does it make sense though in your head? You know what I mean?
Data's also pretty falsifiable.
100%. And that's why it's a fun group, because we can just go back and forth forever on stuff like that. It's like, bro, like you use your same points, I'll use your points against you. Like,
yeah, it's never ending.
But anyways, yeah.
What else we got next?
So this next one, a little bit on the conspiracy side of things. Let's hear what this guy has to say about the war happening right now. Did it start a long time ago?
Patrick, we were noticing on our boats, on our what's known as an AIS system, where you basically it's like a GPS for boats, that in 2020 and 2021, while everyone was fighting about COVID, there was literally a wall of Navy ships from Maine to Florida and from Washington down to almost the Baja Peninsula. They walled off the entire country at that point. No one knew about it.
China, it happened in China. Everything globally sat. It wasn't just our borders. It happened in China. It happened in where everything's going on right now in Iran. It literally happened everywhere. They sat thousands and thousands of ships off the coast. Literally, all of the supply chain stopped.
To me, that's the biggest clue that that's when you actually went to war. Going back to the chart.
Thank you.
Because if you were entering, if our theory is correct that in 2020 and is when you really entered the kinetic war, that's when everything went hot. Well, in a kinetic war is exactly when you would stop foreign ships from coming into your country. That's exactly the point in which that would happen.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit, make sure everybody's caught up. I'm the audience ombudsman. COVID, the COVID narrative is deployed. Donald Trump says, okay, we got some special medical ships to treat people. One off the coast of California, one off the coast of New York City. And you're saying in reality, it wasn't just one ship. It was a freaking mega fleet.
Armada.
Okay, an armada. And that armada was part of a just kicked off kinetic warfare operation designed to embargo all trade.
Well, think about it, Patrick. Back up a minute. March 27th of 2020, Donald Trump wrote Executive Order 13912, I believe, that authorized the calling up to 1 million federal reservists and National Guard. That was March 27th. 4 days later, he does the press conference with Milley talking about basically military operations. That's the date he points to with the chart. From there on forward, you saw our entire country blockaded on each side by Navy ships, and you saw other ships stopped from being allowed to come to the United States. I don't know, everybody else, you tell me what's going on there.
So anyways, these guys were kind of speculating on whether or not this conflict actually started a long time ago.
That fascinating theory. I don't know how we would substantiate it, but
I have no idea.
I found it entertaining. I love thought experiments, right? I think where we go too far is that most people are conducting their thought experiments through someone else from a 6-second clip or like a 2-minute clip, right? That's where it gets dangerous. And then it gets parroted with Game of Telephone happens where they think this is fact they're repeating. That's what's so dangerous, man. Because a lot of people don't have the time. It's exhausting to do what we do in terms of trying to get to the closer form of truth. Like that's not an easy thing to do. It's a lot of time.
No, for sure, man.
Like that's like I have to like my consumption diet is like across so many different things because I want to try to find people who know that it's highly unlikely they know each other. when they're talking, right? So to do that around certain subjects is like difficult to do because I even try to do that deliberately so that I will not get too biased one way or the other.
100%, man. And then anything in the chat you see?
Question for you, Keith, says, do young men still have to register for selective service? I don't even know what that is.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just like when you turn 18, you're supposed to like basically declare that you will go if you get drafted. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you do, my brother. So if you're above 18, be careful out there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. And
Moving
then
on.
next piece we have is this Fruit Island thing. Have you been hearing about this?
Fruit Island?
So there's a TikTok account behind the AI-generated Fruit Love Island series that has over 3 million followers in 9 days.
Yes.
Cool. So I haven't really seen this until just now. Honestly, I looked it up and I can see that there's something going on here, so I can play some of it.
Welcome to Fruit Love Island, where 8 single fruits are about to flirt, fight, and trust. Things get messy fast. Okay, this villa is insane. I'm not leaving here single. I just hope the guys are hot.
I'm here to have fun and probably break a few hearts. Bro said the quiet part out loud. I just hope the girls like nice guys.
Okay, the banana guy is definitely my type. Wait, I saw him first.
So, which one of you is the troublemaker?
I could be. He might not survive both of us.
Oh, this is going to be messy.
Islanders, it's time for the first coupling ceremony. The girls will choose which guy they want to couple up with.
Okay, so
it's hard to watch, man.
That's what's going on.
But those shows are so popular, like the dating shows.
Right. Yes.
So, and Sir Night said he looked into some stuff based on what those guys were saying about the ships. Said, so a quick search shows some naval ships experienced a COVID-19 outbreak and had to be quarantined. I guess that's why they're referring to why they were there. And in 2021, a record-breaking number of container ships were anchored off the coast of California.
Interesting.
Super interesting. What else do you have to say about this art?
I'm trying to find the account that has all these followers that these people are saying, but I'm struggling to find the account.
How many do they say they had?
It says that they have 3 million followers in 9 days. I'm seeing
that's cap.
120,000 followers.
Yeah, I'm seeing more like 50. I see 53K. Official AI Fruit Love Island. I think, yeah, maybe they got taken down or something.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I'm seeing a ton of pages now. Fruit Love Island, another one. Maybe they're talking like combined numbers too, because people are not all that creative out there, Keith. If people see something working, they will sprint to do the same thing.
That's true. Super true. So, anyways, saw that going on. There were some reports of like how much money that they've been making as well, being some crazy numbers.
Yeah, it's another thing too, where when people are so desperate to get back what their social platforms kind of used to be, like that's another thing that, how else do you stop these kinds of things without like digital ID? Where like the spamming of the content, they'll have to have some sort of method to prove proof of human, and then also limit how many people things can post, because I think that there'll be platforms that emerge that you can't post that often. I think there'll be a lot of ways that people get creative to try to stop this. Looks like Sausage Party to me. Yeah, very similar art style.
If you're enjoying this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip. Somebody said, my dad listens to Swag Jones 2223 said, my dad listens to AI stories on YouTube and is addicted. That AI voice makes me cringe.
Yeah. I get a feeling too. When I hear it, I'm like, I don't like it. It makes me feel uneasy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's so interesting, man, that especially the older people, like they don't care that much if they even know any better. It's just content, right? So I don't even know what to say.
Well, I think people are kind of feeling like, okay, all the rules are going to be rewritten, so why don't I just go break all of them?
Right.
What else do you got?
Moving forward, we got the TBPN guys over there having David Sinra, who is the Founders podcast founder, making a statement about a guy named Toby Lutka, who is the founder of Shopify.
Yeah, it's in Canada. I think it's Canada's like biggest company like that within like the internet world.
Facts, man.
Toby Luque was very fascinating to me because he's your favorite founder's favorite founder. So everybody that you admire, you ask who they admire, and they'll bring up Toby. And what they like about him is that he thinks through every single thing independently. So therefore, he has all these beliefs that are not correlated with one another, which means when you have a conversation with him, you are unable to predict what his response to your question or your statement is going to be. And that we talked for 4 hours. So we talked for a half hour before we recorded. Then we recorded for 3 hours. We edited down to whatever it was. Then we recorded for another 30 minutes, or talked for another 30 minutes after. And I could have kept talking. I was like, dude, I got to catch a flight. I'm going to have dinner with Charlie Rose that night. Oh, yeah. Like I had to like fly down there. I was like, we would have kept talking. Yeah. Like he just blew my mind. And one thing he said that I think would be interesting to your audience is he believes, and I think he said this on the episode, that we're going to look back on the year 2026 as the year that every single business in the world was up for grabs. That AI is coming for everything. Every single other business will have to be reimagined. And you're going to look back at this is the year where it should have been obvious to you that you can rebuild the AI native version of whatever exists out there.
Mm-hmm. I agree with a lot of that.
It's almost exactly what you were just saying a second ago.
Yeah. Well, people really underestimate the significance of incentive structures in both directions in terms of how detrimental it can be to an organization and how amazing it can be to one when they're aligned. Right. And I think that people aren't considering the human side of all of these big companies and how much people will fight this. Right. And because like, people are just saying like, oh, we'll just get all the people that we have to use these and it'll supercharge them. It's like, yeah, of course. You think they're going to, with everything they're consuming on the internet about how this will eventually just full on replace them, you think they won't fight that? I'm hard pressed to believe that.
Fair, man. Moving forward, we've got a clip to react to from Instagram. This was a super interesting viral clip here.
The younger generation doesn't want to work anymore. They're so lazy. They just need to work harder. No, we just don't want to get fucking scammed. Let's start there, okay? Leave it exactly how it is. Let it sit in the room, what I just said. Let it breathe. Because that sentence right there is the entire argument. Y'all say we're lazy. We say we watch our parents and grandparents work for 30, 40, 50 fucking years straight and still panic when the rent is due. Y'all say we don't have grit. We say we saw people give their youth to companies and corporations and institutions that replace them with a fucking email. Y'all say, just work harder. Harder than what? Harder than juggling 2 jobs and still needing roommates at 30? Harder than degrees that cost 6 figures and lead to entry-level jobs that want 5 years of experience? Harder than productivity levels higher than any generation before us while wages crawl like it's 1997? And this video is not about work ethic, it's about trust. The older generation grew up in a system where the handshake meant something, where pensions existed, where one income could hold down an entire household and an entire family, where loyalty was at least rewarded sometimes. We grew up in layoffs, recessions, housing crashes, shit-ass economies, student debt traps, medical bills that look like ransom notes, and a digital world that monetizes our attention before we're even old enough to fucking drink. And you're shocked that we're skeptical? Bro, y'all call it laziness. We call it pattern recognition. We have watched corporations get bailouts while families got evicted. We have watched CEOs make 300 times the salary of the average worker and still talk about tightening belts. We have watched internships demand full-time labor for experience. We have watched the cost of living sprint while wages jog. And then we get told we just need to grind more? No, we don't. Listen, we don't mind working. What we mind is being exploited. There's a difference. We want to build lives, man, not just fucking resumes. And if that makes us lazy in the eyes of people who equate exhaustion with virtue, then so be it. So fucking be it. But history always labels boundary setters as weak before it calls them wise. So here's the truth. We will work, we will build, we will grind when it makes sense, but we will not blindly sacrifice ourselves to systems that refuse to evolve. the younger generation doesn't want to work anymore. They're so lazy. They just need to work harder. No, we just don't want to get scammed. That's not rebellion. Okay. That's not us being rebellious at all. Okay. That's us being aware.
Keith, how you feeling?
Well, I just love the dialogue in the chat. People said, Hard Reset said facts all over the place. Lucas Hawkins said found dead 2 weeks later. Hard Reset was he really?
Just kidding.
Like,
No, I was just kidding.
But no, I mean, straight facts. Such a fascinating thing. We've really watched, for instance, I've talked about 08, like watching the consolidations, watching the crunch. And for me, it's almost my exact story. It's like, well, I don't ever want to be in that position.
Totally.
So,
yeah, even as someone, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur from like the age so young, because I just asked enough questions at the age of like 10 where I realized I was like, my life will suck if I don't do this. It was easy. It was easy enough to see, right? Because I saw that every person that I ever talked to about, like, they're like, oh, do you like what you do? Even the ones that said yes, it wasn't about that they liked their job. It was that they liked the fact that it made them rich or had status.
Mm-hmm.
So then I quickly saw, I was like, okay, so this thing is very, very much broken. So I didn't care about school. I didn't care about my grades. I didn't care about shit, because I was like, this shit is broken. Like, why would I care to perform in a show that I know is fucked?
Yep.
So that, I think people are just coming to that conclusion now. And it is, the incentives are so broken. Like the systems are so unbelievably broken. And I do think that builders that are younger have felt the pain, where I'm hopeful that this next wave of builders, because you can pretty evenly redistribute wealth to a degree if people have more skin in the game. Because there's going to be so many more problems solved through AI and things of that nature, where as long as the people who are actually building it are compensated fairly, a lot of it could be improved.
Yeah, man. I agree with you.
I think they can even pass laws, man, where like people have to give some sort of upside to the people who are working in the company. Because then, like, let's say that you don't want to do that because you'd be diluting everything else. It's like, okay, then is that person needed? Like, there's so many things that you could play into. And I think that too much of the wealth is consolidated to way too few people, and the system's built like that.
Yeah, systematic change is going to have to come. People are going to, for instance, they're not going to go to the draft if you try to draft.
No, but also like the answer isn't to tap out, in my opinion, right? Where a lot of people are like just saying, okay, it is so screwed. And instead of saying, how do we fix it? They're just talking more about how it's so screwed. Right. And not many people are talking about solutions here, because like case in point, like that guy was a fantastic video. He was very eloquent and the points he dropped were amazing. But I think we need more people who are the follow-up of that. Okay, now what? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so interesting too that like the incentive is to do that, right? Because now you get paid eventually to just do that.
Yeah. So ironically, you can get paid very well for talking about how bad it is.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like every problem that we see are flawed systems and incentive structures, right? Because even like a lot of people who think like, oh, they control the media. It's like, you don't need to control the media if you control the money, and you control the access to the money. You as a downstream effect control everyone else's behavior. Like money is broken.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Here's what I got next. In the U.S., we have a partial government shutdown, and so the TSA has been
another one.
Yeah, so it's been going on this whole time, right?
Wow.
So there was like a lapse for like 1 week that changed things, but there was 1 week where the government was fully open, but then it was immediately back again. So, anyways, because of that, the TSA, the security at airports is getting backed up. There's like a bunch of jokes about how there's a line out to the next state. And this is someone performing at the ATL airport to entertain people. It looks like they paid someone to come and perform. So, situation there is not ideal either. That's another thing. Like the entire government in the U.S. is shut down at the moment. So
Seriously?
Excuse me. There's a partial government shutdown, right? So that creates much more massive issues on top of everything that's already happening, right? So just wanted to point that out. I've got one that might hit a little bit closer to home for you, Ben. If you're enjoying this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip. This guy, David Folk, looks to be pointing to some sort of research that has been done that says that Canada has observed the largest decline in happiness in the world alongside with the UK. And this goes back from 2018.
I felt it, man. We're so politicized here. Like, and when your only high ground is like moral superiority as your country is collapsing around you, like I feel like it's inevitable. You guys aren't much ahead of us, though. It looks like yours is pretty bad, too.
Yeah, we're right there, right with you. That's funny. I didn't even realize that. I saw it written down there, but yeah, we're right there with you. So, yeah, it's a fascinating thing to watch occur here. Moving forward, Tony Robbins was on the Iced Coffee Hour with Graham Stephan and his guy. Made a quick or interesting comment about like the different seasons of life. Let's listen to it.
If you're 0 to, say, 21 years old, you're in springtime. Tell me, is things hard to grow in spring or easy?
Easy.
Very easy, right? If you start a business in springtime, you think you're a genius. You're full of shit. All it is you're in the right place at the right time. And when the season changes, that's what thins it out, right? 0 to 21 is the springtime because you primarily, like I had to go to work when I was 14, but I didn't have to make the mortgage, right? I'd help my family, but I didn't make the mortgage. So you're still being taken care of to some extent, whether you like it or not, some. You're being taught things. From 22 to 42 is like your summertime. That's where both of you are, right? And that summertime, it's testing. And that the generation that's in that stage always thinks things are unjust and unfair. Always. You can look at over 100 years and you hear the same examples over and over again. And so during that time, you finally say, I don't know if I believe all the crap I was told. I'm going to go test my own world. I think they're full of crap. Plus, when you're 22, 25, 27, 28, you know you're going to be a billionaire, and you know you're going to be president of the United States, and you know you're going to have 100 relationships with everybody simultaneously, and everybody's going to be happy. By the time you're 35, you discover that it isn't working so well. You have a hard time with one. You're not a billionaire yet. It hasn't quite worked out the way you have, and so you get humbled, right? That 22 to 42 range is the toughest time. All studies about happiness, it's the toughest time because you're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out, prove to yourself, maybe to the world also, but to yourself who you are. And as you go through it, you're going to go through kind of the hero's journey. You're going to have stuff that hits you you're not prepared for, and it's going to feel overwhelming, and you're going to think, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with this.
Just wanted to point out that idea of just like the different seasons that you're going through in your life, and just recognizing that that's totally just how things go, and it's fine for that. And yeah, and also that idea of what we've talked about it today a little bit as well. It's like, when you hit early like that, it doesn't mean that you've got the whole thing figured out.
Totally.
Right.
No, I think that's huge. Your priorities just change. And I think social media really kind of warped that whole thing too, because you can so quickly go and see things that, when you saw celebrities or super rich people on the TV, but everyone else around you wasn't talking like that or making you feel like that's the norm, it's easy to say, okay, I could work to that, but that's super not normal. But every time you go on your screen, you see something to the contrary. People you can't distinguish. Like people, if I see it on my screen every day, it's got to be normal. I'm seeing it every day. That's normal.
Right. Yep.
So that's like the debauchery of everything else too, and the horrible advice for relationships that is out there. Yeah, it's all of it, man.
Speaking of that, this is a perfect transition. We had Clavicular have a statement that started to go a little bit viral. Here, let's hear what he had to say.
Like, let's say you.
So this is about height maxing. Apparently, I don't really fully understand it. I think you put stuff like in your shoes, like in your soles.
Yeah. So any sort of maxing is basically trying to do different hacks or tricks to make that part of your appearance the best or personality the best, whatever. And so for this is height maxing. So trying to deceive girls or guys, whatever you're into, that you're taller than you actually are. And this is the lengths that he'll go to create that illusion. And
did you see this already?
Yeah.
Okay, you might have even sent it to me. All right.
At Max, you get a girl, you bring her home. How do you get away with, like, because you're gonna drop in height?
Right. So, what you could either do is you could wait until you're in the bed to kick your shoes off, and that way she won't be able to perceive the height because you're you're laying down, you're horizontal. But if you are forced to take off your shoes for whatever reason, you can sag your pants down so that they conceal your heels, and you could tiptoe max. Is a good method.
Like, let's say you hype max, you get a girl, you bring her.
Okay, so many things pop up. I'm like, first of all, it's from the sounds of it, he's thought about this situation, or he's just gotten so good at trolling. Because that's crazy. Tiptoe maxing is absurd.
Yeah, that's madness. But very funny, very funny. Definitely, like you said with this guy, he
plays it up.
he knows how to be funny at the very minimum.
It's also concerning that he's also a real thing though too, right? And now it's getting even worse because he keeps on getting these girls, and I don't even know if it's true, but he keeps getting girls on his stream to like cheat on their boyfriends or whatever.
Oh wow.
And then they're kind of like shaming the girls for doing that, and then it just continues to repeat because there's so many people I think he's in Miami, and so yeah, it's bad.
There's a couple of questions in the chat that I was seeing.
So we will definitely have. So Lucas is saying we should do a meet and greet. We'll do in-person episodes at some point for sure. We just need to build the businesses and the show to a point where we can do that, and we'll try to find local venues that can make sense. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, it said. Oh, dang. Lucas said so Ben can get a taste. So Ben is a veteran.
Yeah, I've had many tastes of America. So yeah, I've spent a decent amount of time there. That was really also the place that my dad would take us to if we ever went on a vacation. It was almost always Florida. And so I'd been going there every few years from when I was a little kid, and then a lot more since now I can decide. We'll meet up at Ponderosa. Yeah,
what is that?
It's this buffet that I talked about. I don't know why, but when I was a fat kid, it was when I went there, and then we had the buffet Ponderosa, and I was just blown away by the sheer options on that buffet.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Gotcha.
That blew my mind because we don't really have that many buffets here. Like we do, but not like you guys.
It's
land of the excess.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
memory,
So
though.
couple memes into the pure funny stuff. Douglas Bonaparte said, Trump, we're having great talks with Iran. Iran said, we're not having any talks. Dow plus 600. Anyways, market's just going to go up.
Yeah, because it's all that.
There was this clip, man, from Jon Stewart, but I don't know if I can play that, can I, Ben?
Why?
You don't think it'll potentially lead to a copyright problem?
So we are allowed to react to things. So like this, as long as we're reacting, and especially if you keep it small, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, yeah, because that's the one thing I was thinking too, to try to keep it small. But this dude had me rolling, bro. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go for it, Ben.
Escalating tensions in the Middle East. I must applaud the president for stepping back from the cliff of escalation and engaging Iran in productive talks.
Iran has responded, its state media saying there are no talks.
Well, now we're in the uncomfortable position of who to believe. Normally in this situation, I think we'd all be inclined to, in some measure, not trust the pronouncements coming from this theocratic and corrupt regime. Iran. Talking about Iran. For clarity, I just want to, it's not Iran. We'd be inclined not to trust Iran. So let's give our president the benefit of the doubt and just probe a little deeper. Sir, you say we're having talks with Iran. Who did you talk to?
A top person.
A top person? Or the top person? The article really makes a huge difference here. Like, the guy or some f***ing guy?
It's a little tough. They've wiped out We wiped out everybody.
So a lower level guy who's been elevated to a higher echelon, bottom who is now a top, versatile, but not stop it. Or I will rip your stuffed monkey in half. So you're talking to a guy, but not the top guy, not the supreme leader.
No, not the supreme leader, but the people that seem to be running it.
Again. Running it or seem to be running it. It's a big difference. Hey, where's our car? Oh, I gave it to the guy who seems to be the valet. He had a jacket, he was standing by the curb, seemed like a top guy, and he did take the car.
So that was the funnier parts for me, but crazy. I didn't even really watch that full interview, but just the idea of like this guy is sitting there saying like, talk to one of the top guys, seemed like he was running the place. Like, what?
He certainly seemed like he was in charge.
I guess people have to give him the transparency card, right? Like the man, to some degree here, right here, he seems to be telling some sort of a truth. He talked to somebody. We just don't know who it was. But yeah.
Hella interesting.
I usually don't find those types of things very funny. Like there's always, a gag of the week when it comes to him, and it's always something.
Yeah.
But that was actually pretty good.
I think it's the sheer size and scope of the problem that makes it crazy.
Facts.
Right? Thank you. Like if they're about to start a potential like world war, like I feel like we should know who we're talking to, Like it's not like you can claim like when you were kids and you used to post something stupid on your like Facebook or whatever, or you'd like tell someone you liked them on Facebook, you'd be like, oh, I was hacked. It's like,
right.
We can't really be doing that.
Oh man. If you're enjoying this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip. All right. So this one, this guy from Australia was like, don't panic, guys.
Keep saying these things like, don't panic, urging Australians not to panic. And that's fine. Since that, I've just been so relaxed. But I just want to know, are you going to let us know, like, when we're allowed to start panicking? Like, is it when no cunt can get any fuel? And then because there's no fuel for the trucks, there's nothing getting delivered to the shops. And because the farmers don't have fuel, there's no crops getting cut or fucking anything. Like, do we panic then? Or will you let us know a couple of days out and we can just all panic together? What the fuck's going on?
That's fair.
But I'm relaxed because you said not to panic. So I'm not panicking. But yeah, I just want to know if you're going to hit us with a day we can panic on. Because I'll get into me panicking, mate.
I feel him. It's kind of like when you tell someone to calm down, Like
yeah,
exactly. It has the opposite impact. Don't panic. Okay, I'm going to proceed to panic now.
Don't panic, mate. I love how they use the C word so casually. That's
I love it.
Wild, bro.
It's the best, man. It's so good. But yeah, I also love their accent.
Yeah, it's perfect. This next one here is people who just spent $700 on the Mac Mini to run OpenClaw agents just to watch Claude launch the feature natively for $20.
Well, you had to know this was coming. Everyone who like sprinted out to try to learn this shit. It's like you got to prioritize your time on like, okay, let's follow the rate of change here. This is probably going to come to be an easier option very soon.
Yeah, man. Like you're gonna buy a whole machine. That just sounded like not a good idea.
Yeah, that's why people are asking me like, Ben, did you set this up? I was like, no. They're like, why? And I'm like, because what I could do with my time right now is inordinately more valuable than trying to figure this thing out that will be obsolete in a month.
Right. Yeah. So this guy said he was reading Dune and Frank Herbert was cooking. And it says in here, it's a quote, once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that this would set them free. But that only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a man's mind, Paul quoted. Alan said, at Grok, can you please explain this post and the quote in it? What should I understand about it? So, clearly.
What was Grok's response? Is that just the one picture?
It's a picture. Yeah, I don't actually know.
Got it. That's hilarious. That's so ironic.
So I'm sure the dude knew what he was doing was a joke, but definitely funny. And you see this all over the place. I've seen it in some of my posts. I see it on other people's posts. They're like using this as a way to like prove you wrong, right? Or to prove their point right. Like at Grok, like, tell this dude why he's wrong.
I've had people try to use it in an argument with me before.
Yeah.
Like you pulling out.
Oh, okay.
And then being like, let's see who ChatGPT agrees with, right?
Right.
I'm like, that's dangerous, first of all. And it didn't go their way, too. So bro, they tried twice. It didn't on the first question, it didn't take their side, it took mine, and then they tried again, and it didn't take their side, it took mine. I'm like, you don't get 3.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
It was funny, man. There'll be a lot more of that, I'm sure, because I know Google it caused a lot of fights amongst people too, right? Now
yes.
This is an evolution of that.
Exactly.
So be careful. If people are gonna try to pull that on you, like they're gonna naturally ask the question in a very biased way.
Of course. Yeah, that's the funny thing about actually the chat version, because yeah, you can really craft a message now.
Totally.
All right. So this guy said, Your Honor, I told Claude not to make any mistakes. So the joke here is in general, there's these memes that are going around like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, Claude, like, tell my girlfriend I want to break up with her, make no mistakes. And it's like, bro, like, or even something in the physical world, like, Claude, go pick up my kids from school, make no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, Claude is obviously not capable of doing that, right?
Also, what's a mistake?
And then that's the actual joke, right? Is what does that even mean? Is that even possible in any way? And so, yeah. So anyway, so this guy said, Your Honor, I told Claude not to make any mistakes. And this is another thing that keeps on going on is in the legal field as well, there's a bunch of instances where lawyers are using ChatGPT. So I don't know if he's referring to that directly or not, but even in general, like you're just in court, imagine you're like, Your Honor.
Man, I said no mistakes, bro. Oh, you said no mistakes? Okay, you're good.
So yeah, Jim Cramer said very oversold on March 19th. This was the day before Trump was like, we're going to nuke everything in 48 hours, or not nuke everything, but he said we're going to blow up your power plants in 48 hours or something like that. And then immediately the market sent lower. But we've talked about that before, so I thought that was worth sharing real quick, although things have since reversed, to be fair. Another couple of things. Will Clemente said, honey, make sure we're budgeting for derivatives on agricultural commodities to hedge our grocery price exposure. Thought that was
man, if the people who talk about Polymarket, if it was what they say that it is, it would be like this, which is obviously the joke.
Right.
But like the average person is so far removed from these things that they're trying to justify by saying shit like this. Like, this is a fantastic display of how ridiculous that is.
100%, man. Oh, this one was really good. All right.
And it's very cool. Oh my gosh. Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday. Wow. Think Joe Biden would do this? I don't think so. Do you think he'd think of it? Do you think he knows what it is? Wow. No, but
so I don't even know what that's actually from, but I thought that was pretty good.
That's super good.
Let me see. So there's this thing called LinkedIn Speak that's going around. It's like a translator that it takes your sentences and turns it into LinkedIn Speak. I don't know exactly where this came from. Did you see the origins of this thing?
No.
Okay. Well, anyways, Chase Passive Income, one of our favorites over here for the meme section.
He's good.
He said, I'm heading to prison for defrauding the elderly. And it translated into LinkedIn speak to say, I'm excited to announce that I'm starting a new chapter focused on deep reflection and personal growth within a highly structured environment.
Bro, you know what's so funny, Keith? Is that like so many of the people that made fun of me for posting on social media will now post this shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck
That's
you,
fair.
dude. You roasted the shit out of me for building my own business and all this stuff, and then you'll post this trash?
Right. That's super fair because it is that same archetype, right?
Yes.
That's funny. This one was pretty good. Trump summing up the situation with Iran.
Well, you know, I may have a plan or I may not, but how would I ever say that to a reporter? If I said that to a reporter, Marco would say, please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately, right? No, I can't tell you that.
Did you hear the story about the shoes?
What about the shoes?
How Trump guesses, apparently, this is all secondhand, so fact check everything I say here. But apparently, Trump has these shoes that he's obsessed with, and he'll just buy them for everyone who works for him, but he guesses their sizes. So he'll just look at you and be like, Keith's the size 11 or whatever, right? And then he buys them and gives them the shoes. And apparently, this could all be AI, but apparently Rubio wore the shoes even though they're way too big for him.
Oh, okay. Interesting theory as to why Rubio's shoes are so big. That's hilarious. No, I haven't heard that one. So yeah, he may have a plan and he may not, he said. What a funny
could go either way
situation there. But yeah, guys, I think that's all of my memes for the day. Hey, you made it to the end of the clip. That means you're probably enjoying this. And if so, just know that you can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you will enjoy this next.